Hey, what's good everybody? Welcome to the video. This time to the SH Figuarts Kamen Rider X8 Gamer Level 99 Maximum Mighty. I freaking love this toy. If you know that I've already reviewed Gim Level Billion, it was basically a recolor of this guy, but ironically, Gim Level Billion came out first. So I thought that I reviewed this guy and put the video up. It turns out I just sat down and played with the toy like 80 million times and never reviewed it. So that's on me, y'all. I ain't gonna lie, that's on me. So I'm sitting down now reviewing it because I just realized Hyper Muteki was delayed due to COVID. You know, that makes perfect sense. And it's actually releasing sometime this month. So I figured why not get this video out just in time for Hyper Muteki, and maybe you'll want to go out and get both, or maybe one, it doesn't matter. But the point is bringing you information. So as usual, let's jump into the video. Let's get started. This is a slightly bigger body. This is kind of like an exo body for what X8 is inside of this. Unfortunately, you don't get a different body under. It's hoping that you previously bought X8 to kind of have, you know, this guy. So just like with Gim Level Billion, it's basically a really nice set of colors. Technically, this guy is a recolor in terms of who came out first, but Gim is actually a recolor of him because this actually appeared first in the show. Now, honestly, this color scheme, it's really cool. I know a lot of people didn't like the pink. By the time we got to this guy, it actually came out to be pretty cool. I really like the way this turned out. Now, in terms of the look and articulation, I know it seems like a really weird thing to do, but if you watch the show, you know just how wonky bananas this actually worked out in terms of scheme. So without further ado, let's jump into the articulation. These pointy parts do not move, so please don't hurt yourself because these are pointy at the end. They are sharp. Same thing for the hair. We have our head sculpt, which actually can move around freely up here. And this is actually chock full of expression because as you can see, even as I turn his head, he can move very freely with both the neck and the head moving. So there's actually no problem, man. A lot of room for movement. As far as our arms go, we actually can pull it out. You can see it has that range, and you can actually extend the arm out to the point where you actually can extend, well, not extend, but you can rotate this piece to manipulate how the joint moves. It has a swivel here, and it is on a double joint. So even though he has this really big arm, even this is on a double joint that allows you to rotate, and it has a forearm swivel, as well as a gauntlet swiveling moving hand for the wrist. So the wrist can even move too. So you actually get a ton of range that allows him to move around for you. Same thing on both arms, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. The shoulder blades shouldn't even get in the way really too. So if you want to go pound for pound and do the rock'em sock'em, you know, pose where you put your arm together, you can totally do that with this guy. As you can see, they can cross arms. Well, sorry, not cross arms. The fists can meet. As far as our upper torso, we kind of have a really nice swivel going left and right. We have a little bit of backwards tilt. Forward, the tilt goes well too. So it's not really an ab crunch, it's more like a waist swivel. That kind of works like the SHF Street Fighter fighting body. So this is very similar to that. We have our belt here, and the belt here is actually much bigger. It's a much bigger version than a normal belt. And if I pull out normal X8, you'll see that the belt is technically the same size, but it sort of feels just a little bigger in terms of ambiance, right? So if you want to take off this driver and put it on here to show the Maximum Mighty Gamer piece, which will show right there, and as opposed to normal X8, it's a different insignia inside. You can choose to do that because there's a little piece of tab. I would not recommend it, but I know customizers will go nuts with that. So yeah. Then we have our drop down leg method. As you can see, I just did that. Drops down a little bit. And then we have a thigh swivel. We also have a inner thigh swivel for the joint as well. Our leg can come pretty decently far up for a guy in a big suit. And the knees are double jointed. You'll see that big ugly knee for those of you that don't like that kind of stuff. So you actually get a big crazy knee there, that nice big joint. Then you have a generous ankle pivot as well as some loose gaps pieces. And this will allow for the maximum range of your figure. This guy doesn't do much except for look pretty cool and pretty much overpower other characters considering it's level 99. There's very few characters that are actually a higher level than he is. So basically, it's pretty much your exo suit to look good in the background, do good for a certain few set of action shots, but it's definitely needed if you are a completionist for your stuff like I am. I am only a completionist for Kamen Rider. So here I am collecting all of them. Can he pose it pretty well? Yeah, but he can't do much in terms of like crazy stuff. So you're pretty much stuck doing only certain types of shots, as you can see here. And even now, like the face is kind of blocked. So you'll rotate this, make it work by doing it this way. This actually looks a ton better like this, right? It looks really cool. I really like the mean face looking at you. It gives me real good Pac-Man vibes. Now, in terms of accessories, what he comes with, he doesn't come with much, but he does come with stuff that helps you complete and round off your X-Aid. So you'll get hands, and these hands can hold the Gashikon Key Slasher, which he does come with. And I think this was nice because if you want to make him have his final form weapon, you can actually give it to normal X-Aid, which you'll see I'll do in a second. And these hold it pretty well, holding right in place. Then we have our open palm hands for when he uses his big crazy hands to move his own for the final move, however you want to do that, right? Now, when I pose this guy up and stand him up normally, one of the things I've really liked that is a gimmick in the show and that you can actually replicate here, and I've actually really enjoyed this. Let me actually make him sit. Yeah, there we go. You actually look really cool like this. Is that with normal X-Aid, I can give him the Gashikon Key Slasher. And one of the really cool things that I've saw in the show that I absolutely adored, that you can do for the toy as well, is that you can replicate him ejecting from the suit by just popping off this head, hiding that neck piece, however you want to do it, because it's black, so it's not going to show anyway. By the way, little sub note, if you notice the eyes, the compound eyes are a little bit different. So let me actually get some light there. That's a little too much light. We have our yellow compound eyes here, and for the level 99, they are a different color, as well as a slightly different pink, a little bit of a darker shade. So if you want to replace his head and put it on your normal X-Aid, I highly recommend that you do so when you're doing the ejector piece. So what's cool is he'll eject from the body in the show, and he actually takes out the maximum mighty Gashat, and it's placed inside this one. So he can be seen ejecting from it and looking pretty cool because he'll have this one. So I really like the way this sets itself up for as a completionist piece for just sorry, I shouldn't say completionist, as a nice piece for complementing each other. You get a better head, you get the maximum mighty, you get the Gashikon Key Slasher. So these are all things that if you actually missed out on, or you wanted them, like let's say you didn't get Mighty Brothers, you now can have the Gashikon Key Slasher for your X-Aid level 2, or technically level 99 ejector version. So there's pretty of cool little tidbits for that, and I really, really like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop this back in, then I'm gonna pop the head back on so we can jump over to a quick size comparison. So let's do that. Right, pop the head back on. Let's stand him up at a decent size, right? Actually, his right size. And first things first, before I jump into size comparison, I want to compare him to Gim Level Billion. So let's do that. So now we're going to jump into that size comparison and color comparison I talked about. Here he is next to Gim Level Billion. And I'm going to actually put his arms down just a little bit so you guys can see. Here you guys go. And as you can see here, they pretty much complement each other. Just really good color swaps of each other that look pretty good together. So if you have them fight each other, you know, have fun with that. Now, in terms of normal size comparisons, first things first, I do want to compare him to other X-Aid figures so you could just see the difference he has body-wise over them. So here is Snipe level 50, because now we're going with more so final forms, right? Here is a Laser level 0. This is the homie right here, Kiria. Right? So here he is with these guys. Let's actually turn down the lighting a little bit. All right. Next up, we're gonna do Gim level 0. Actually, there we go. So as you can see, size-wise, he still has some height on them, even though everybody's kind of technically different. And that's kind of what I've enjoyed about this line in general for X-Aid. Even though they share bodies, as they drift off into more different forms, everybody does look different. So that's pretty cool. So let's move these guys out of the way, right? And let's talk about Paradox and Brave level 100. Here we have Paradox level 100, knockout gamer. Sorry, perfect knockout fighter. And then we have Brave level 100 with a custom cape by CJ. Next up, we're gonna go, oh, actually, this is gonna be the last guy. I'm gonna do Gem because he actually fights Gem, right? Now let's compare him to some other lines so you can have some fun with your mixing and matching. So here we have a 6-inch Spider-Man. And for once, an SHF is bigger than a Marvel Legend. And that's simply because he's in a big ass exosuit. So yeah. Here we are with a Lightning Collection Power Ranger. Next up, we have an Articulated Icons Ninja. Let's go with the next batch. Here is a SH Figuarts Kamen Rider Kuga. So this is on a renewal body, so it makes it slightly different. And if we're going to talk about using the technically older bodies, here is 01. So you have a Kamen Rider Reunion. Then we have a 1000 Toys Synthetic Human, or Synthetic Carb, I should say. I keep forgetting that's what I call him. And then we have a Mythic Legions. Ooh. And Mythic Legions is still bigger. But yeah, overall, this has been fun. This has been nice to actually sit down and do. And it makes me more excited for Hyper Muteki, considering Hyper Muteki is soon to be released. So that way I'll have technically the 3 forms that I can use to have a perfect XA trio. As always, guys, thank you for enjoying. Thank you for watching. I hope you found it informative. And as always, please be good, do good, drink your water. Later.